Hello from Arizona. Hello from Arizona. My name's Cal, and I want to welcome you to Tough Trails. Okay, so before you put these decals on, you want to make sure that this surface is clean. I mean super, ultra, premium clean, okay? So we're going to scrub it here with an SOS pad first, get anything off of it. I know it's hard to see with this camera, but there are spots and fingerprints and old tracks from the old window tint on here that's got to come off. So we're going to scrub that off with an SOS pad, okay? All right. Should have been all set up, but all I just could just push a button. Didn't have to do it.
Went to the screen.
Oh, did it? So.
It's a little hard to hold still when you're pulling.
I don't know what you're talking about. I know. This window isn't exactly square, so. Oops. I'm not doing that. There we go. Baby, can you come out? Can you just reach back and pull the paper for me? We're halfway through now. Okay. So this is gonna.
Slowly or?
Yeah, real slow.
Okay, it's pulling.
Hang on. Let me catch up, Bill. Okay. Put some more on the bottom. There you go. Pull on the bottom a little bit. There you go. On the top. Keep pulling on the top. How did we get so far off up on top down there? It's still fine. Come on, pull on the bottom.
Looks even on the bottom, but not on the top.
Yeah, no, the windows aren't even, but yeah, that's kind of what I wanted.
Okay.
So I don't care if
My
those
arm's
fake.
about to fall off.
What do you need to do?
Nothing, just keep going.
great. Okay, so when you're putting these decals in and you're prepping this glass, you know, you want to take your time and do this right, because you only get one shot at this, okay? And these decals are hard enough to put on. You know, they're going to hold little tiny pockets of air. They're going to vary with different temperatures of the season, and the hot summers and the cold winters, and they're going to shrink and contract and stretch and expand, and you know, all that. So just make sure that you give your decals the best chance you can, and clean your surface of that window. Clean it up really good, okay? Go ahead and try to work it out, walk it off. Very nice, very nice. So this was my solution instead of tinting the windows. I was gonna tint them, but you know, I get better visibility, and if you look from inside here, you know, this is pretty good. And I can still see out, but you can't see in all that great. So I'm good with that. Anyway, decals are in, off to the next project. So here's a little update. Decals are in. Okay, so I've got to put a couple of light bulbs in, and then I'm going to pull the panels off. I'm going to paint around the edges. I'm going to screw the lids down. I'm going to felt it, and this box is for the most part done, with the exception of some other little small things I want to do to the kitchen. But your bulkhead's in there. That kind of stuff. You got the mattress, your sleeping mattress. When the bulkhead comes down, it becomes a sleeping platform. That mattress is right there, stuff behind the seats for right now. I'm going to figure out a way to store that, but in a plot twist, this mattress is 22 inches wide, and this is 21 inches wide, but when it's folded up like it is right there, you can see it. It's folded up right there in front of the bulkhead and behind the front seats. It actually fits right there. And it could go right there. You won't be able to see through your bulkhead or use your rear view mirror, but you know, if you maybe haven't noticed, but the big ass tires on this thing, you don't really see out the back because of the spare anyway. So, but I thought that the big American flag decals were a better choice than just the solid tint. It's still, you know, it reduces the visibility looking in a little bit, but the good thing is it gives me visibility looking out, and that's kind of what I wanted. So, and remember, I think earlier in another video we were putting on the little orange valve cover stems with American flag, and I think I mentioned that I had gotten the decals for the windows. So anyway, those are in. It's different. I like it. I think it'd be okay. So let's look at the front. So I still got to work on these panels, do that, but you can see it from the front, what it kind of looks like, you know, if you're in here or something. So same on the other panel, I got to work on that. This steering wheel, I'm not sure yet. I do have a black steering wheel, a custom aftermarket one. So I've got switches I've got to put back in here. This is actually a panel that goes in there. I took the AC vents out to put a panel in there with toggle switches on it, or rocker switches. for the different things. So there's a little bit more to go, but we are getting there. Okay, dome light doesn't work. I don't know why the dome light doesn't work, because you know, guess what? It's got a cool blue dome light. Cool blue dome light. All right, so a little bit more to go. Anyway, I just want to catch you up. Okay. Okay, so here's the pieces that we made. See how the metal slides through there. Okay, now I'm just test fitting these, see how these are going to work. But basically, this little bracket is going to be mounted permanently to the box. It may be just screws holding it in. I might put something else on there, and then what I'll do is we'll round these edges off. This will be pushed in all the way, and that way I'll know where to put the pin at. See, so the pin will be able to go right through, if you can see that, and that'll lock it into place. And if I can make it tight enough or close enough, or the specifications close enough, I will probably get in front of any future rattles, because as you know, I don't like rattles. Anyway, just a little update for you. Okay, we're about to, a couple more things to do. I'm gonna run some wires for our lights, find a couple switches somewhere. But this is our now finished and detailed little cargo area. Okay, this is where our kitchen is gonna sit, plus whatever gear and cargo we can get in there. And I just wanna show you before I close this up for the last time. So, okay? All right, cool. Okay, so we are on the home stretch right now. Everything's wired up and done, and we just attached the deck for the last time permanently. So speakers are wired up, lights and stuff inside are wired up, those kinds of things. Kitchen doors built up, swinging fine, that's all stored up. And now what we're going to do is we're going to felt it. We'll felt the top with the felt that we have left over. Okay, just want to catch you up. Okay, so just a couple tips. One, first of all, a better medium to cover your box is probably going to be, especially for the conditions that it's going to be used in, it's probably going to be a bed liner. Get you some roll-on or even spray-on. I'd probably do a roll-on though. Roll-on bed liner. It's going to give you kind of a waterproof surface. It's going to be able to handle all that hard stuff that you're going to probably do, sliding equipment in and out, ice chests, those kinds of things. So, however, if you do have an application where you just prefer to put a base of felt on, because we're going to put felt on and then we're putting a mat over the top of it. But it's just that you don't have to go through all this. You could just get you some roll on and you could take care of that, and it'll be no big deal. And you'll have a nice, respectable, utility box here, Overland box, Overland kitchen, and nobody will know the difference, okay? So you don't have to go this far. So hang on just a second. So if you decided to use felt instead, you can find you a piece of carpet, a carpet remnant, something like that. Here's another thing, house paint. If you take an external house paint, like a semi-gloss latex or something, boy, it's waterproof, and you can paint this any color that you want and paint it with house paint. That would be fine. The construction, we have used 100% wood. It's, it aligns with our budget. Remember, the material is $45 to build a box, for the wood. So that's fairly cheap. A better way to do it would be to maybe build your frame out of 3/4 or 1-inch angle iron, maybe 1/8 or 1/16 inch thick angle iron, and then cut your panels out and then mount them to your angle iron. So you'll weld your doors out of angle iron, and you'll put your filling in there with a piece of wood. That way might be able to be a better way to do it. Or you can go all metal. You can do your frame and then get you some diamond plate steel or some of that aluminum diamond plate, and put that on there. That'll look good, and that'll work. All the dimensions aren't going to change. It's just the material. So with that said, when we're going to put the felt on, we're dealing with a 48-inch wide piece of felt that we need to cover a 51-inch space. So this stuff has to be stretched to make it work. This is why, you see how we painted the black? We paint black around the edge, because in case this ever does pull, because of the temperature or weather issues or those kinds of things, you're not going to notice it, because it has a black. The backing is black, so it matches this. So anyway, so what we're going to do first is we're going to roll this back. We cut a manageable piece. We're going to roll this back, and we're going to apply glue right along our edge right here. And then we're going to put us a nice straight edge and glue this down with a nice straight edge. And then we're going to work our way over to the right, okay? Over to the right, pulling and stretching and pulling and stretching. And hopefully by the time we get over here, this gap right here will be stretched and filled, and the fabric will go right up against the plastic there, or the interior parts. So, okay? So I'm going to do that right now, and I will check back in a moment. Okay, see, so there you go, nice and smooth. That's glued about this far, all the way down, okay? Now it's gonna allow me to stretch and pull and tug and glue, you know, maybe 12 inches at a time, something like that, and slowly work it across, keeping your wrinkles out of it, all right? Okay, see how we do that? Roll it right on up, and then we'll glue as we roll, and we'll spread it out with our hands, nice and slow. No rush here, got no place to go, okay? Okay, and there you go. So we made it nice and smooth, glued on. We were able to stretch it those extra couple of inches to get it over there, and we have a good foundation now. Now we've got to come, we'll let it sit for a while, then we're going to come back and we're going to trim it and do any touch-up that we need to do, any spot gluing. So that's what we'll do next, okay? All right, guys. Okay, there's your box. Actually pretty nice. It's trimmed out. The kitchen swings out, put our sill on, got our flags in. Let me go around to the front. And there you go. We got our speakers in. We've got our other door in here where you put your you know, valuables and stuff, or a rifle or metal detector or something like that. And there you go. Okay. Now I've got to trim out my slots in here, and then I'm going to put my headache rack back on, and I'm probably going to call it a day. Okay.